And good morning, everyone. Thank you so much for joining us here on the KGNS Digital News Desk. It is Wednesday, October the 4th, and if it is a Wednesday, outside of it being the middle part of the week, the hump day, what else do we call it?
It's downhill from here.
It is Wednesday, and it is time for our All's in This Together program for the Alzheimer's Association. Good morning, everyone. I am Jerry Garza, and this lovely young lady to my right is...
I am Mindy Caso, and I am Jerry's sidekick. Partner in crime. Partner in crime, definitely. And, you know, Jerry, we have been doing this podcast already, I can't believe this is the second year, and we're almost coming to the end because we are exactly 4 weeks away from our walk. So the big walk, of course, this year is November the 4th. Today is October the 4th.
So 27 for 31 days.
Yeah. Wow. Wow. And that is what we're going to be talking about today.
So month, but really a little bit more than 4 weeks.
Oh, yes.
Semantics, potato, tomato. We're excited. As always, things have been going really smooth. Things have gone really well these last couple of weeks, and right now we're gonna, in just a few minutes, bring in PV to talk about all of the awesome things that have been happening here in this community leading up to WALK. But it has just been amazing, the amount of interest, the amount of support, the amount of participation that we talk about it every year, but this year it has just completely surpassed what we saw last year. It has been amazing.
Absolutely. And I think last year was the first big walk after the pandemic. So last year, still a little challenging, to get people back into the swing of things. And this year, though, it just seems like with all of the traction and movement that the Alzheimer's Association at the national level and the state level has garnered over the past year, really helped with the efforts for this walk, because people are just now really, really supportive of it. And I think the Alzheimer's Association has done a phenomenal job in getting the word out on the need for help, but also how many folks are affected with Alzheimer's here in our community. And I think that has really resonated with a lot of the sponsors who have come forward.
Yeah, we're getting to the point where we're going to be here on a weekly basis, just leading up all the way up to the walk. But we have had the opportunity of interviewing such fantastic people. Everybody who's doing their part with the Alzheimer's Association, and it has just been a eye-opening. You think that after a year, we did this last year, and you would think that after all the people that we interviewed last year and everybody who we spoke to and everything that we did last year, we'd be like, you know what, I got this, right? No, you're always learning. You're always learning more. You're always finding out more. And one thing that I've come to learn from the Alzheimer's Association, that it never ceases to amaze me. There's always something new that comes up. Wow, you do that, and that's one of the cool things about being the co-chair for the Walk to End Alzheimer's, is that there's always these aha moments. Oh wow, you're doing that too, and it's just great to see.
Yeah, and the biggest news from last year to this year, just to briefly recap, are the medications that have come forward. And of course, the medications come from scientists and researchers, and those are funded by the money that the different associations across the country are able to raise through these walks. So we can see the fruits of our labor, and all of the labor of every community out there, including ours, and how the money really does truly make a difference. Because this past year, the theme has been medications, new medications.
Yeah, you're always seeing stuff now. Not that you didn't before, but the frequency by which we're seeing just all the different types of news that are coming out about Alzheimer's, the different medications, the public relations campaigns they're doing, the awareness campaigns that they're doing. You are really seeing a lot from the Alzheimer's in pushing what the organization does, and not only pushing what they do for people who are afflicted with Alzheimer's or have family or friends or loved ones who have Alzheimer's. It is pretty amazing to kind of be living through it and being a part of it. And with that, I am going to bring in somebody who is a very much a regular part of our crew here on the All's in This Together program, and that is PV Villaseñor Sandel. PV, thank you so much for joining us here this morning.
Hi, PV. We're so glad you're able to join us again this morning.
PV, it has just, we're talking about just how things are going. And from your perspective, obviously, you've been a part of this very much longer than any of us. But what you're seeing this year, is this anything unlike you've seen in past years, or is it just us that this feels different?
There is always a lot of interest. We always hear people share their stories when they call us just to ask for information or just to talk about, when is the walk? This happened to my family member. We really want to participate. And so I always tell everyone, it's not me, it's everyone in the community. It's who you know, it's your connections that help support what we're doing, that are helping us to get to our goal. So we're having a great year. No complaints there.
No, we really are. And you talk about the volunteers, and you talk about everybody who has everything to do with this. We meet frequently as a committee, and all of the people who are involved in the committee are just so committed to it. And there's a fantastic group of people who are involved in the committee who have been doing this for years and really just have a heart and a passion for the Alzheimer's Association and for the mission. One thing I will always say, and I say this everywhere I go, and Mindy is the same way, we do this because we have all been affected somehow, some way by Alzheimer's. And so for us, it is personal. For us, it is something that, we're not just doing it because, we're trying to get, more likes or more FaceTime or anything like that. We do it because this has all affected us in some way, form, or fashion. And everybody on that committee, everybody has their story. We've all learned everybody's stories. We've all heard their stories, and it's amazing just the level of passion and commitment that all of the volunteers have. It is really, really contagious.
Mm-hmm. It's just so great to work with everyone and to get to know our committee members on a different level, what they share with you. And it just gives you that sense of, I want to do more, I want to help more. How can we find this information? What resources are out there? Because we are all connected to this.
Yeah.
Absolutely. Mm-hmm. Yes.
Yeah, definitely. No, I was just going to mention, we've had, of course, we meet often for the walk, and it's always really amazing to see a new volunteer come to the meeting, and then that person introduces themselves and tells their story, and they say exactly what you guys just said. We are here because XYZ, and then they just run with it, and so we're never at a loss for people who want to help, and I think that's just beautiful.
I know it is funny because we do see somebody new all the time, and I'm like, did I forget your name? I'm like, no, you're new. Okay, yeah. But it is so, and as always, we are always accepting people who want to volunteer. Maybe you have I'm sure you have your story. You have the reason why you would want to volunteer. But look, this is probably one of the most, I don't know how to say it, one of the most open bunches of people that I've ever been in a committee with or in a group with, and they're so welcoming and so inviting that if you feel that call to just say, you know what, I have a loved one who has been affected with Alzheimer's or is affected with Alzheimer's, or I have my story, and you want to come and participate because just something inside is calling, something inside says, you know what, maybe I should just go. Come on by. We're always looking for people to be on the committee, people to be volunteers, and if you just have that little shy bone in your body that says, you know what, put that aside and come on. Yeah. If anything, come to the walk, and you'll see that it's a great bunch of people who are in the Alzheimer's Association.
Yeah. Absolutely. It takes everybody far and wide, all stories, and it is amazing. You're right. We've had so many great volunteers join us this year, so many great new members to our committee from everywhere, all ages, all industries. And really, it's just me saying, hey, can you help me do this? Will you take part in this? Will you take the lead on this? And if we don't ask, we never know. And really, people want to be asked, right? They want to be a part of this. They came to the meeting for a reason, and now it's like, what can I do to help you? And if they're not saying that, just say, hey, I need help here, and the floodgates will open. I'm always so grateful for that, especially with this committee, because it is a big walk.
Yeah.
It takes a lot of people, all hands on deck. Committee, volunteers, everybody. And so we're just grateful that everyone has been wonderful and helpful, and very open to helping us.
Yeah, and if you don't know what you can contribute, but you want to contribute, you just say, I don't know what I can, just show up. Something will fall on your lap, because we've got so many different things that people can benefit from and participate with and participate in. So yeah, just come on over. So a door will open itself. we will lead you to the promised land. All right, so here we go. We talked about 4 weeks away, 31 days, depending on how you look at it, all the way leading up to walk. And so, all right, PV, give us an update on where we're at with everything related to the walk. I know we've got a lot of things that we want to talk about and start getting into the minutia and the details of walk. But tell us where we're at. Give us the 35,000 aerial foot view on where we're at, and then we'll get into the weeds somehow.
Break it down.
Yeah.
Absolutely. I'm really excited to share that we are at 83% of our goal, and that is growing. So we're at 112,677, and our goal is 135,000.
Do you know how that compares to where we were last year?
Right? I don't think we were above 100,000.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't think that we were above 100 at this point last year. It took us closer to walk to get there.
Yeah.
So we're sitting in a really good position this year. Plus, I mean, with regards to our sponsors, we have more sponsors this year. A lot of our sponsors have doubled their sponsorship this year, which is we're so thankful for that. We are at 109 teams right now, which is great. Wow. We want to grow that to about 140. And I do think that, as you get closer to walk, as we advertise it more, people will start, they'll start registering, they'll start calling, they'll ask how they can make a donation. All of those things are great. And so right now we're in a really good spot. I'm happy about that. To be this close to our goal a month out is really, really nice. It gives you that sense of, I can breathe a little sigh of relief and keep putting everything together, put all those moving parts together. And it just gives you that, okay, we're going to get there.
Yeah, I can only imagine how stressful this gets for you with each passing day.
Yeah.
Yeah, of course. When you said we're exactly a month out today, it just blew my mind. I said, oh my goodness.
You can blame Mindy for that. And so, again, we are doing really well. Obviously, we want to thank our sponsors, because without our sponsors, without our teams, the walk is nothing. And so we want to thank our sponsors who have stepped forward and have come forward to want to put their name on this, to want to be a part of this. And we've got some great sponsors, not only on the private side, but we also have picked up some great sponsors on the public side. And obviously we want to try to mention as many of them as we can, because again, without our sponsors, that's really only one part of the equation.
Absolutely. And so if you will allow me, let me mention some of our wonderful...
The floor is yours.
Thank you.
And I'm going to go full screen. Everyone, there you go.
Oh, gosh. So we want to thank IBC Bank, BP Newman, our Webb County Commissioners Court, Texas Community Bank, KGNS, our wonderful friends at KGNS. WellMed, Hillside Funeral Homes, Staggs Land Company, Friedman Klein Family Foundation, Siemens, the City of Laredo, AEP, HEB, L&F Distributors, Falcon Bank, Doctors Hospital Laredo, Laredo Medical Center, the Biggs Institute, Argindigi Oil, La Roca, Laredo Nursing and Rehab and Las Alturas, Figueroa Clinic, Champion Care, Laredo Rehab Hospital and Laredo Specialty Hospital, Laredo Hospice, Olera, Well Essential Health, Altus Hospice, Laredo Hearing and Balance Solutions, our friends at TAMIU, Aramark 107.9, I believe. And Goldie Farms. So we have a lot of sponsors that are supporting our walk efforts this year. And we will continue thanking them and sharing it on our social sites, talking about them and their support this year. And I have to tell you, I just want to thank the sponsorship committee, everyone who helped bring in a new sponsor, who made a phone call, who sent an email, who had a conversation. If you're on the sponsorship committee, not on the sponsorship committee, I never do this by myself. It takes a village, and to receive so much fantastic sponsorship this year, hats off to everyone on the committee for making this happen.
You know, that list that you just read off, PV, you've got some heavy duty names there. There are
Absolutely.
some, you know, sponsors there that, wow, you know, they really stepped up and supported the Alzheimer's Association. So, you know, yeah, definitely on behalf of Jerry and I, thank you to all of those sponsors.
Thank you to both of you.
And we are certainly hoping to see all of them there with booths, of course, on the day of the walk.
Absolutely.
And it's always nice to walk up and down after the walk. You go up and down and you visit each one of the booths. And
booths. I thought you said boots.
Oh.
I'm like, why are they going to show up to a walk with boots? That's going to be the most uncomfortable thing. Okay.
We're your speakers, not your...
Definitely booths. And we get to pick up some swag and get some good information on their business and the services that they provide. And a lot of those, what I did recognize was a lot of those do provide services for their medical, their clinical. So they provide services for Alzheimer's. So it was really heartwarming to see a lot of them recognize how much they're needed in the community for Alzheimer's patients, and they were willing to sponsor the walk.
You know, one of the things that and the common thread that I, you know, as you're reading the list there, PV, one of the common threads, because you and I have been to a lot of these announcements that of the check presentations and a lot of it, and then you kind of read into it a little bit. A lot of these announcements, again, I go back to that personal connection. I've been being affected by it personally. A lot of health care providers on that list. Again, they see it every day. They know what this disease does. They see what it happens to people. They see how it affects families. And again, that's where that connection is. And it just, you know, sometimes it just gives me chills because, you know, you really cannot fully appreciate what the disease does until you have that story or that connection. And so, you know, that's why we talk about, you know, the stories, your story about it, you know, somebody, you know, family member, because that's what's going to prompt somebody to volunteer, to sponsor, to join a team, to do something, because you see it firsthand. And you know, we share those stories, and I keep going back to it because that really is the most powerful part of this whole thing.
Yeah,
absolutely. And really just having the opportunity this year, you always, as you were sharing, you always learn something new. But just having the opportunity to meet so many of our sponsors, to meet their staff, to see how they want to be involved, and how they want to support their community, or committee members that have said, I have a connection to this business for this reason. And they really are passionate about supporting the Alzheimer's Association. They supported me, through my journey, things like that. It is amazing. It has been an amazing year to hear just all of that from committee members and all of the companies that we've had the opportunity to work with, just to hear them. For example, if we had someone who did a presentation at a caregivers conference or who talked about something at a committee meeting, it really opens your eyes because everyone sees it obviously from a different lens, but to be able to hear it from other people who are, for example, someone who may work in a hospice company, to hear what they deal with every day. It may not necessarily be their family member, but they're so close to the families who are going through this journey.
Yeah.
They're experiencing it. Or a new company that says, we really want to put a presentation together because there's more information about this that we can share. And so it really just brings it. It has really come full circle this year for me in a very different way, I feel like, than I've experienced in the last few years working with the Laredo community.
Hey, Pee-wee, talk to us about the caregivers conference. How did all that go?
Phenomenal. I have to give all of the credit to Maxine. She did a fantastic job putting the caregiver conference together. We had close to 100 people that came out. We had incredible presentations from community members here from Laredo. And it was just a great day. And when you have people at 3 p.m. that are still there listening to your last presenter, that says a lot about wanting to know what's happening and how engaged everyone was at that time. And so just a big thank you to everyone that helped to support the conference. It was really well done. To our team in San Antonio that came out and helped us with it, and to all of our volunteers that helped us on that day. It was great. It was just a really, really good conference. Very happy to have experienced that.
And we understand, Pee-wee, that there was even a line before the doors opened to get in. So
I mean, yes, when you're walking in and you see people ready to go and to be a part of it, that says a lot. We were so excited. There was a couple that was there that had actually watched the morning show that morning and had seen our executive director, Greg Shudo, talk about it. And they came out to the conference and they said, oh, we saw you this morning. We were just so interested in, coming out, and they were there. So
that's nice.
We really appreciate him having the opportunity to talk about it. And you were right. One last time. That was really a great way to continue promoting it.
Right.
And so that's always good.
Yeah, absolutely. Good. And we are going to start promoting, well, not start, we've been promoting it, but we want to rev it up just a little bit more because we do, before the walk on November the 4th, we do have another fun fundraiser that we've been putting together. And of course, lots of volunteers helping out with that too. We want to talk a little bit about the poker run, Pee-wee.
So we are still working on our poker run details. It should take place on the 21st with our friends at Harley Davidson. And so we will be sharing information about that probably in the next day or so. We're excited about that. There is another piece to walk that I do want to share. We are also working with our friends at Nourish Laredo to be able to support Nourish Laredo through walk. And so we are going to ask our teams, individuals, sponsors who may want to donate items at walk. Nourish Laredo will have a booth at walk for our Laredo community. So people who may not have the means to buy the different items for Thanksgiving, we will be taking donations at walk. So we're really happy that we are able to collaborate and to continue giving back to Laredo, and we're doing it at Walk this year. That's
great.
100% new. The committee doesn't even know about that, so surprise.
You know, and what Nourish
They do
Laredo,
now.
right? Surprise, like you said, they're looking for non-perishable food items, correct, PB?
Exactly.
Yeah.
Yes.
You know what's
Yes.
what's so amazing about Nourish Laredo for folks who are just hearing about them for the very first time is that it is a group, a nonprofit organization that's made up of young adults. And when I say
Yes.
young adults, we're talking about seniors in high school and
Yes.
you know, maybe a few freshmen in college. It's a big group, but that is the age range of these kids. And I say kids just because, but they're young adults. It's just heartwarming to see that generation doing something for the community. And Nourish Laredo has been recognized as a nominee here in Laredo for the Jefferson Awards. You see them at almost every single health fair. They are out there and they're very big on social media and they do an amazing job. So it was wonderful to get Miss Lorena Tellez, who heads up Nourish Laredo, to be part of our Alzheimer's Walk committee. And thank you to Lorena and of course her family and all of her volunteers with the organization to embrace Alzheimer's and want to do even more for Alzheimer's.
Yeah.
All right, so let's go ahead and do our let's start our push here, our call to action here, PV. And if anybody wants to, let's start with teams. If anybody wants to join a team, let's talk, or make a team, or it's still not too late. You still have plenty of time to do that. So what is the best way to go about setting up a team?
So they definitely can register online. It's probably the easiest and the fastest way because you can do it from your laptop, your computer, or your cell phone. So go to alz.org/walk, put in your zip code, and then follow the prompts. You will select the Laredo Walk, and it will take you step by step to start your team. Of course, it always asks if you'd like to make a donation there. You can if you want to, or you can wait and do that as you are adding your family, your friends, or colleagues to your team. If you're going to put some fundraisers together, they can definitely make donations up to Walk Day and beyond until the 31st of December. We'll continue taking donations. So that is one way. They can also register on Walk Day. We will have paper registrations where people can register. They will also have QR codes. We can help them register on their own cell phone devices. And then you can also register after Walk. If you missed it, you don't miss it until December the 31st. So there is still the opportunity to register a team all the way through December the 31st.
Well, and you bring up a good point. So just because you don't have everybody on your team set up doesn't mean that you can't create the team. You can always go back in there and add more people. Is that right?
Absolutely. You can do that. I always suggest that you share your link. You can send it to them via text, via email. We have a mobile app. It is Walk to End Alzheimer's. And it is so easy to create the messages. There's already a lot of pre-written scripts available. You can send it again via email, via text. It's just very convenient. And a lot of people will immediately start receiving donations. You can set up a Facebook fundraiser as well. And, people in your social circles will start donating. I have seen several committee members who have started a Facebook fundraiser, and they have made their goal within a few days.
Wow.
Once you put it out there, people just start donating, which is amazing.
Well,
Amazing to see that.
we talk about, look, even if you don't know if you're going to be able to go on the 4th, just sign up. If someone sends you a request or they ask you, just sign up, and if you can't make it that day, you can't make it that day. But and even if you don't plan on going, still sign up for the team. So let's just kind of get the people signing up. And again, when you talk about the donations, if you can, great. If you can't, great too. And just make sure that you let people know, hey, you're going to be getting a link from me that is going to ask you for money. It's legit. I won't be asking for a gift card. but participate and do
Yes.
and just start. Don't procrastinate just because. Well, you know what? I
Right.
can't donate right now. It doesn't matter. Don't create the team just because you know what? I don't know who I'm going to invite. Yeah, you'll come up with your list at night or when you're in the bathroom or
Sure.
at work or whatever.
Exactly.
You know that just don't. There is no reason why you can't just go ahead and create that team from the very beginning, from this point on.
Right.
Yeah.
Absolutely. And we encourage you to do it right now. This is prime time.
All right. So,
Okay, perfect.
all right.
Sponsors.
Teams, check.
Yeah.
All right. So let's move on to sponsors.
Yeah,
I know we've been
exactly.
talking about sponsors. PV, is it too late to be a sponsor? Is there another round of sponsorships, or where are we at with that?
So I would never say no to anyone who wants to sponsor. The only thing is that, for example, to have your logo on t-shirts, banners, posters, signage, things like that, we are past the deadline.
Okay.
But there are a lot of foundations and organizations who may wait until the end of the year to make a donation. And so we're never going to say no to that.
Yeah.
So we definitely appreciate everyone's support.
And of course, if they
Absolutely.
wanted to, they'd still opportunity for booths and things like that on day of walk.
Yes.
Is that correct?
Yes. So if someone is looking to just have a vendor booth or information booth, I'm not going to say no to that. There is a fee associated with that. So they can definitely call me and we can help with that. We probably need to know that within a couple of weeks as we're starting to order tables and make our reservations so that we make sure we have enough booth space for everyone.
You know, and I was going to say, having the visibility of your booth and providing information. This is one of Laredo's biggest walks, if not the biggest walk.
Yeah.
You know, last year we had, what was it, about 700 or so people out there. Everybody takes home a bag of swag, and it's got information in
Yes.
there. And, you know, just having the opportunity to have some FaceTime with people who might need your services. It's just a really great place to be, especially when you provide medical services, because lots of people are looking for that. Definitely.
Absolutely.
A bag of swag.
A bag of
I like
swag.
that.
Bag of
All right.
swag.
All right. So
Cool.
sponsorship.
Yeah.
Check. Sponsors, check. All right, headed now to the volunteers. This is a huge endeavor. This is a huge undertaking, and it requires a lot of people to get this done. Just think about it. Last year, I think we had about 700 people participating in the walk. It requires a lot of volunteers. Obviously, before the walk, during
post.
and post.
We repeat.
And post. So it does require a lot of volunteers, and obviously, PV, there are still opportunities for that. So if there are organizations, bless you. Bless you.
me.
Oh,
Sorry.
you're not trying to get out of the walk already, are you? So if there are organizations who want to participate, I know there's a lot of high school kids who need community
Volunteer
hours. Volunteer hours. There's a lot of church organizations that they require community hours as well. So this is a perfect opportunity to knock those out
Yes.
and get those done. All right. So if anybody falls into that category, PV, and they want to participate and they have an army of people ready to do that, how can they volunteer?
They can contact me, and they can email me, they can call me, and I will share that. But we always need help with setting up, tearing down. We start setting this walk up on Friday because there are so many moving pieces to it. So we need a lot of help to put it together, whether it's Friday or Saturday throughout the duration of the walk. They can contact me at via email is pa.villasenor@alz.org, or they can call me at 210-963-5638. And I will never turn down a volunteer. We have had a lot of groups that are coming out to support us, but you always need volunteers. So if there's a high school group out there that wants to come out, or a club or a retired group, contact us, let us know. We will find something for you to do.
Yeah, especially now there's so many health organizations, health groups at the high schools, at the colleges. There's, and of course, not that it's limited to the health, but this is
Right.
kind of this is their thing, right?
Right.
So this would be a good opportunity for them also. And again, there's just so many people who are looking for opportunities to go out and volunteer, and this is a good way to do it. PV, you want to give us that number again where they can reach out to you to
Yes.
volunteer?
It's 210-963-5638.
Okay.
And PV, you do offer community volunteer hours for the high school kids?
Yes, we do offer volunteer hours. Absolutely.
Perfect. We get that question quite often.
Oh, yes.
Okay.
No problem there.
Volunteers, check. What are we missing?
Well,
Much.
countdown. Okay.
PV's like,
The countdown. I know. Volunteers, sponsors, teams.
Those-
Volunteers also, PV, I just wanted to go back to that a little bit because you do quite a bit of setting up the night before. So if folks aren't available on the morning of November 4th, and I'm only thinking because I know there is, I'm thinking about my own high school senior at home, there's an SAT that's taking place that morning that a lot of seniors from the different high schools are going to be taking. But those volunteer hours and volunteers in general could be utilized Friday evening. Is that correct?
Yes. So on Friday, we will be at TAMIU setting up probably as early as 4:30.
Perfect.
Till 7:30, just so that we can get a head start on all of those items, whether it's putting up signs or helping us put together promise garden flowers, tables, things like that, unloading items. So there will be plenty to do.
Okay.
So we'll be there Friday on the 3rd. I'll be there probably by 4:30-ish, but we are asking for at least a few hours from 5 to 7. And we just want to make sure people know where to enter. So we'll put up enough signs out there, all of our wonderful signs for our sponsors throughout the route, and then Promise Garden flowers. This is a really big walk, so it's going to take a lot of flowers. And it's really nice to build that area and to kind of have that preview before. Tammy always does such a great job. Sometimes they have their Christmas decorations out by that point, and it just gives you such a warm, beautiful, cozy feeling. So it's really nice. I'm hoping that the weather is nice to us and cooperates. And last year it was really hot when we were setting up.
Yeah.
Really hot. But we'll be out there, whatever the weather is. And if it rains, if we have a rainy day for walk day, we'll still be out there.
You know, I have a question about the setting up of the booths for the different folks that are going to have booths out there. Do they set up their tents the night before, or what time do they go the morning of?
So we do request that sponsors come out. They can come out as early as 6:30, 7 o'clock. Usually they're all there. We'd like to have everyone set up by the time registration opens, which is at 8.
Okay.
And so they're there about 3.5 hours. But if they can come out on walk day is probably better, only because if, something happens overnight,
Sure.
we don't want, tents to be wet or anything like that. If
Right.
there's dew or
So
if it rains.
registration
Or not there.
opens or not there. Yeah. Registration opens at 8, so they can start setting up at about 6:30, 7 o'clock or so beforehand.
Absolutely.
Okay.
Yes.
And then the duration of time that the booths are disseminating information. What's the approximate time? Obviously, from
lot of
when
them-
they set up all the way until. What do you think?
A lot of them stay until about noon. Some of them start tearing down maybe about 11:30 once the crowd starts to dwindle.
Okay.
It just kind of depends. So 11:30 to 12, something like that is usually when they start breaking down.
Okay.
Once the walkers start, returning and start leaving, things like that, it's probably between 11:15, 11:30. So they have plenty of time to disassemble their items, and we're usually there on campus until about 1.
Okay, perfect.
Yeah.
And I had one more question about that. And it just slipped my mind, but I'm sure it'll come up.
Well,
But okay.
we still have.
yes.
Oh.
I'm so sorry. We start walking though. Registration starts at 8 PV, but the walk we take off with our first step is at 9 o'clock.
9:30. So
9:30.
we
Okay.
have our Promise Garden ceremony where we thank all of our sponsors and we recognize all of the different colors of the flowers in the Promise Garden ceremony. That begins at 9 and should be maybe a little bit less than half an hour. And then the walk takes place.
Okay.
So the Promise Garden ceremony, I definitely recommend people come out to see that. It's very moving. It gives you that sense of community. We're representing everyone who is on their Alzheimer's journey. And it's something that just you feel that sense of, I'm not alone in this.
Right. Yeah, absolutely.
All right. I think we've covered everything. We certainly have at least another 4 Wednesdays before we'll be going over all this over and over again. And again, we just want to make this bigger and more successful than last year, and just start setting the bar just a little bit higher also for next year as well. All right. So if you want some more information on how to register, if you want to go register, it's alz.org/walk. It's right there on your screen. You can go and register there. Again, you don't have to have your full team committed. You can start with yourself and then start building that team all the way through November the 4th. If you don't have anything you want to put in yet, you know what, I don't get paid until next week, so I really can't do, that's fine. Create it. Once you got a couple of bucks, then you can go in there and start helping with some of the financial donations on that. Send that link out to family, friends. You'd be surprised. They're gonna help you. They're gonna help you reach
And
your
every
goal.
dollar counts.
Yeah,
I mean,
it really
could
does.
be
Every dollar counts.
$5,
Absolutely.
$1, $10. Every little bit counts. Definitely.
Certainly does. All right. Well, we certainly unpacked a lot here today. We will be unpacking a lot in the next few weeks, but we certainly hope that you will join us on those Wednesdays and then on November the 4th for the Walk to End Alzheimer's, because it's going to take all of us doing our part to help find a cure for this disease that has no cure right now. Think about that.
Yeah.
This disease has no cure. It's the only one that once you get it,
Yeah, you know what that means.
We're starting to get some treatments. We're starting to get some medication, but we still haven't found the one that will cure somebody from it. So, it takes every single person in their tennis shoes or their boots, as Mindy said. No, just their boots. Sorry, boots. To make this happen, to make this a reality.
Definitely. And we always say at the very end of these shows, we understand that some people obviously are at work right now, but our All's in This Together podcast, they live on the KGNS YouTube channel, they live on our webpage, and of course us on our social media platforms. So feel free to share the link with anybody who you feel might need this information.
Yeah, and we need to create our team. And
Yes,
we need to create our
Yes.
team, and
I was thinking
we
that
need to
too.
we need to get a huge team out there.
Yeah,
So
absolutely.
if you're waiting, we will post that to our Facebook, and
Anybody
hopefully we
can
can join our team.
Yeah, definitely.
All right.
Okie doke. Well,
All
we
right.
want to thank everybody for tuning in. PV, thank you as always for
Thank you.
for all the wonderful information, valuable information, and give our thanks to Vaccine also. And like Jerry and I always like to say, we are all in this together. So we will be back next Wednesday.
We'll see you next
Another
Wednesday, same time, same channel. Bye, everyone. We'll see you.
You guys appreciate it. Bye.